home state that think very highly of you and think you should be hired by the Lions. Did you see that? What did you think of it?
To be completely honest, I didn't see anything or hear anything until coming off the practice field. So um, I don't know what to make of it or anything like that. So it's just whatever, I guess, you know.
Well, my follow-up question would be why Houston and Atlanta's legislators haven't drawn up a similar letter, but let's move on to the Bills. What can you tell me about Stephon Diggs and what makes him a unique wide receiver compared to guys like that you faced some really good ones this year with Hopkins and Allen and on and on?
This Buffalo Bills team is they're very, very, very talented. When you look at Stephon Diggs and Beasley, and their backs are very talented, and then the quarterback is just he is a problem. He is much more than I was expecting when I flipped on the tape, and it is a tremendous challenge leading up to Monday night, and I think Brian has done a phenomenal job with what they've done to their scheme and the way he's evolved it and made it work for the quarterback. So we've got our hands full. It's going to be a tremendous challenge, probably one of the better challenges we've had all year.
Hey, Robert, just want to get your thoughts on Richard Sherman. Did he look the same, better, than you expect him to be on Sunday?
I always expect Sherm to have, he had a big pep in his step. He was excited to get back out there. But Sherm, for his whole entire career, has always won with mind over athleticism. Not to say that he's not an athlete or anything, but he has always played the mental part of the game, and that's why he's able to have that longevity. He is so far ahead of everybody with regards to scheme, technique, how to play certain things, and the great ones always find the ball, whether they're in man coverage, zone coverage. It doesn't matter. They just find the ball, and there's a reason why he has 40 interceptions in his career. He just you can try throwing his way. You just never know where he's not. You just never know when he's going to be somewhere where he's not supposed to, and that's from his film study and all the different work he puts into it.
Robert, I can't remember exactly when your name started to be connected with head coaching jobs last year, but it didn't seem like it was this early. Certainly no letter from legislators on December 4. How do you sort of reconcile that? How do you compartmentalize perhaps a head coaching opportunity with 5 weeks left in an NFL season?
You don't. Um, this league is so week to week, and the most important week right now is Monday Night Football against Buffalo, and we've got a team that's in the middle of the playoff hunt. So it's really a non-issue for me. I don't talk about it. I don't really even see it. I don't have social media. I don't look into the news. So it's probably more for family and friends to enjoy and get a kick out of than it is for me. We're completely locked into to Buffalo.
Hey, Coach. John Lynch was on the radio kind of joking that maybe Javon Kinlaw's pick was a result of his fatigue, not having played and practiced for a couple weeks, for a little while. Can you talk about that a little bit and also walk us through how a player goes from following what your instructions are versus that play in particular where he kind of goes on his own to make a play, but it could have resulted in obviously another ending?
Now, for sure, there is fine line where you never want players to be robots. The one example I'll give was Richard Sherman was in man coverage on his interception, but he has the wherewithal, and he felt he was in such good position, and he knew what route he was getting, that he was able to play with vision, which is a very, very hard thing to do in man coverage, to be able to play with vision back to the quarterback. And so he knew the route, he knew the play, so he was able to stay disciplined. Now, at that point, you did your job, and it's time to not become a robot and to do more than what the coach is asking you to do or what the play is asking you to do. And so he had whipped the quarterback over through the seven cut, and he intercepts it. To Javon, um, right now I'm a little hesitant to trust his the instincts part, but he's proving over and over and over again that he's right. So New Orleans, disrupting a screen, he's getting his hands on balls at the D line level. At he bounced off, and we do got to press him. We don't want him being in a low plugger in a pass rush situation ever. But there's just certain things the kid feels, and he doesn't know why he's feeling it. He just ends up in a spot, and more often than not, he's right. And I'm not going to say that we're encouraging it from him. We're trying to figure out exactly what he's seeing, and he's building trust. But it is, we always challenge those guys to do more than what the play is asking you to do. And if they feel something, they feel something. And it'll be hard for them to articulate, but great ones have a different type of feel to the game and understanding. And he's got to continue proving it to us. But right now, we want him to go vertical and go get the quarterback.
Robert, during the broadcast on Sunday, they said that in speaking to you, you told them that you thought Jimmy Ward was one of the best cover guys in the entire league. What makes you say that? What is it about his skill set that makes him so good? And if he did have to play the slot, would you feel comfortable, just given that it's been so long since he has done that on a consistent basis?
From a man coverage ability, so playing the slot, there's so much more involved in playing the slot than just man coverage. There's a zone instincts and feel. Jimmy's got all those instincts and feels, but to just throw him in there without having exhausted a lot of or spent a lot of reps or used up a lot of reps for him to get more feel would be irresponsible to him. It'd be a waste of his athleticism and all the things that he can do. But from a man coverage standpoint, and it's why he doesn't get a lot of plays. It's why he doesn't get a lot of stats. I mean, the guy absolutely eliminates whoever he has in man coverage. If you just go back through the history of him playing all his man coverage reps, he doesn't get action because people are gone. It's done. His press coverage skills are unbelievable. His off catch technique is unbelievable. His foot speed is unbelievable. So it doesn't matter. Tight ends, jitterbugs, big receivers. He handles all of them. And so he's been a victim of his dominance because people see splash plays, people see stats, people who are really in tune to the game or who are casual fans don't see the dominance he displays in man coverage when he gets those ops. And so for us, I mean, he's basically it's like having dime on the football field without ever having to go dime. And now that he's in the box more often, it just disguises that dime a little bit more. So being able to shift in and out of man coverage, having him on the field. So because he does have zone coverage skills, and he can play a half, and he can play quarters, and he can play a buzz technique, and he can play a hook. I mean, he does everything. And he is the ultimate utility knife, and he's not one of those guys who just does a couple things good. A jack of all trades. He dominates at everything he does, and because of that, he's unique. He's rewritten the book for us on what we want out of a safety moving forward.
Robert, you talk a lot about eliminating gray area. Fred Warner said the other day that basically you guys aren't going to do a lot, but you do it fast and you do it physical. How do you go about keeping it simple for players, eliminating gray area, especially against a team like Buffalo that, as you mentioned, is really explosive in a number of ways?
There's there's a balance of trying to do enough to make sure that offensive coordinators just can't tee off on you. You still have to mix it up, but there's also a line that's drawn with players in terms of allowing them to play as fast as humanly possible, where everybody on the football field knows exactly what everyone is responsible for. When we get to the sideline, they know exactly what happened, they know exactly what needs to be done, and they know exactly who is responsible for whatever would have happened on that play. And so we spend so much time talking about offense because our scheme is not simple, but because our scheme is so honed in and those players are so locked into what we're asking of them. Fred, Sherman, Eric, at all three levels, Jimmy Ward, they're so tuned in, and they spend so much time watching the offense and putting themselves in the calls that they know we're calling. They already know the game plan before we ever give it to them. Now, there's little nuances that we do to try to change things up to make sure that offenses are always off tilt. But for those guys, they're watching offense, and that's when you become your most dominant, is when you can when you can break a huddle, you set the close call, you put your feet in the ground, and you survey the offense. When players know what's happening to them, it just makes them more explosive. It makes them you unlock all their God-given ability. And these guys, credit to the players. I mean, they're completely bought in, and they just study their tails off. And by the time Wednesday comes, I mean, you can throw anything. They surprise me every week. We throw whatever we want at them, and they catch it in a hurry, and they are talking about indicators, offensive formations, and the communication that happens on our side of the ball. And from a defensive standpoint, is just it's remarkable with the group that we have.
Hi, Robert. Can you describe the challenge for Emmanuel Mosley moving into the slot, especially against a guy like Beasley? Maybe from a physical perspective, how is that difficult for him to make that move?
It's a difficult move in the sense, he's been training in there. We've been giving him some reps. Obviously, a majority of his reps have been corner, but there's a different sense of urgency that happens in the slot, and he is very aware, and he knows exactly what he needs to get done. And so we've been able to work him. We're very comfortable with Mosley in there, and it's just getting a little bit of reps, kind of acquainting yourself with the position and understanding exactly what's being asked of you. It's drill work, the ball out break stuff, the little things that he can clean up that are completely controllable from his spot. Now, when it gets to man coverage and zone coverage, like Mosley has proven time and time again that he's a reliable player who can win more often than not. And so we're very comfortable with Mosley in there against whoever happens to be the slot. And Beasley, obviously, he is a extremely talented receiver, has been for a while, and so it is a challenge. But Mosley is awesome. So he's been putting in the work, and there's no doubt he's going to pick up where Jamar left off.
Hey, Coach, I hear you said that you're on to Monday Night Football, but on Sunday, Richard Sherman said you don't get enough credit for everything this defense has overcome. Basically saying you should be a head coach next year. What does that mean to you when a player of that caliber and someone who has that much respect is singing your praises?
Obviously it means a lot. I love Sherm. We've had a long history together, but I'm always going to deflect. I mean, it still comes back to them and the stuff they do. Sherm is he's one of the greatest teammates this league has had, and I'm talking league wherever he's been. He's one of the better teammates. He's one of the better communicators. He is a tremendous supporter of everybody, of the organization, communities, you name it. He's one of the greater individuals I've ever been around, and it's not just on the field; it's off the field. So it means a ton. It means a ton, but it just goes to the character of the men that are in this locker room and the leadership that he provides, and the support he gives everybody in the organization. He is definitely a servant leader in that regard, which is the ultimate form of leadership. So.
Couple more guys.
Robert, how did Kevin Givens perform in his first career start, and what kind of potential does he have?
Just like everyone. I mean, I thought Kevin did a great job. He is explosive off the line of scrimmage. When he's attacking and getting vertical and using and penetrating and on the move, we had him on the move a little bit. He's hard to deal with. His pass rush ability is improving. His feel for run pass diagnosis on first and second down is improving. His strain, that's always the biggest part with D-line. How much can you strain? How much can you finish? How much can you run? All of that is coming into fruition for him, and so there's a growth process for him, but he's got something to him. He's got tremendous lower body strength. He's got a good head on his shoulders. It's important to him, and he is starting to understand all the things that truly make a D-line, and it starts with strain and fight, and he's got a chance. He's got a chance to be special. It's just a matter of how much more work he's willing to put in. So.
Hey, Robert, in what ways has this sort of abrupt relocation altered your day-to-day as a coach, and what's been your impression of the new setup down there?
So setup-wise, I think I gotta give credit to our ops guys. They've really done everything they could to make this as comfortable and as it possibly can be. I can't imagine it being a better setup. And then when you get to the schedule, Kyle John and their guys, Cray and P Diddy, they've done phenomenal job in terms of scheduling to make it as seamless as possible. So it still feels like a Wednesday. It still feels like a Thursday. The travel over to and from the field is seamless. I can't imagine it from a logistics standpoint being any better than what's been set up here. So the guys are upbeat. We had 2 unbelievable days of practice, and so people are in a good spot. And so we just got to go out and continue to compete and find a way to get better every day.
Robert, you probably saw that Nick Mullins paid tribute to Jamar Taylor yesterday. I'm just wondering what you guys thought of the hit on which Jamar Taylor got hurt. It seemed like it may have been late, may have come from behind. Any discussion of that among you guys, your staff, your players?
No. Anytime you're standing around a pile and the play's still moving, anything happens. I don't know if we ever thought it was late from a coaching standpoint, but it is one thing. You always want to keep your feet hot in a pile, it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate what happened to him because Jamar. There isn't a day that went by where Jamar didn't not surprise, but prove that he was capable of doing anything we've asked of him. And he took every rep in training camp when KK was hurt. He came back, was scared to play him. I'm not going to lie to you, I was scared to play him in man-to-man coverage versus Cup the first week that he played, and he did an unbelievable job on him. And so he proved that wrong, proved he could do that. And, he is a special young man, and it really, really hurts what happened to him. But no, to answer your question, didn't think anything, and didn't take any issue from what happened. Just it's a dirty pile. Usually happens.
Last one.
Robert, when you said that Josh Allen is a problem and he jumped off the film, it surprised you. Did he surprise you in a way, I guess, that he's more of a passer and more of an accurate passer than just kind of a guy that's going to tuck it and run?
Yeah, he's like a young Cam Newton. Obviously Cam can still throw and still do all that stuff, but he's a load to tackle. They run him. It's basically like Wildcat offense. They're doing a lot of they just snap the ball, run power with them, and which is surprising. More guts than I would with a franchise quarterback, but he makes it work. He drops back to pass. He has tremendous pocket presence, and he'll sit in the pocket. It's not like he's looking to run out of there. He will go through his progressions. When it's time to scramble, he's not scrambling to run. He's scrambling to throw. But if it all breaks down, he'll still run, and he gains ground in a hurry. He's extremely fast, very agile, very mobile. He is hard to bring down because he's such a bigger body. But he is talented. He can throw the ball on his back foot just as far as Mahomes, I bet, and he's got the receivers to throw to. So, an extremely talented group, and like I said, Brian's doing a phenomenal job putting them in position to be successful.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
guys, we got Laken here for you.
Hey, Laken, how you doing, bud?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. Hey, how have you adjusted to the setup? And I guess a lot of people, well, your coaches have indicated, considering the circumstances, you landed in, I guess, a decent spot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool here, man. I mean, we ain't really, strangers to, working in different, environments. So, it's just another work week for us.
Laken, how do you think the offensive line played on Sunday, and what are some areas you think you can improve?
I think we played pretty well. We were able to, execute some of the stuff that we wanted to, and we just got to keep grinding every week, and keep pushing that standard every week, and you should be all right.
Laken, Kyle had mentioned that, he's keeping an eye out for kind of the mental toll it takes to be away for 3 weeks. Is that something that you've thought about at all, or that you've talked to your teammates about at all?
Oh yeah, of course. Especially at this point of the season, and all these things that we have to go through throughout the season, adversities we have to go through throughout the season. Yeah, it's definitely important to mentally check yourself. As an individual, when it comes to the things, the challenges that we tackle, together. So I think it's really important just to stay locked in mentally, and even if you check yourself, sometimes you got to check yourself.
Did you lose a shoe on Sunday? And if the answer is yes, how difficult is it for an offensive lineman to put a shoe back on in a timely manner?
Man, yeah, I did lose a shoe, unfortunately. Man, it was tough because I mean I couldn't really put it back on because my hands are all taped up. So I had to like just run off to the sideline and like quickly get it, quickly get it back on, as quickly as possible. But yeah, I did lose a shoe.
Hey, Laken, I know you guys have done the week-long trips and things like that in the past. I'm just curious, what are some of the things that are important to you to bring along to kind of get you through and pass the time when you're not maybe doing football over the next few weeks?
Uh, Phew. I mean, I guess like the usual stuff. You're bringing the long trips. Some guys like to bring their Xboxes. Some guys, bring like an instrument if you play an instrument. There's different things, different hobbies that guys have. Just to kind of wind down in the afternoons.
Laken, this is only the second time Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Debo Samuel, and Brandon Aiyuk will all be suited up at the same time for a game. Is that something that you as an offense take note of, or is it just roll with the punches? It's always next man up.
I mean, oh, of course. I mean, when you got those guys out there together, the offense gets to play with a lot of confidence, and it's very important, especially when you got all your playmakers out there. The confidence level of the team is just through the roof. So I mean, I'm excited for those guys, man. You just got to keep rolling, with those guys, man. I love having those guys out there.
Thanks, Laken.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey guys, we got Sherman here for you.
Cut the rook in line, so you guys got to make it quick. He doesn't know what deference is yet.
I'm Richard.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Hey, since we don't know, sometimes you only get one crack at this, so I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go into this, okay?
No, I love it. Barge right on in.
All right. Your calf. We're talking about your calf. Do you? I mean, obviously you weren't supposed to be out that long initially, and so I guess my question would be to you: Is this? Do you have fear like this could be a chronic thing? Hey, it's 2021. This came back, or after going through this, you get reason to believe something was solved.
Oh, something was definitely solved. It took a while to get it solved. Had a few setbacks, but no, I'm not expecting this to be anything chronic. It was cool because we were able to get to the bottom of some deeper lying problems and get those corrected so that we didn't have anything in the future, which was, it sucked in terms of the time missed, but it helped in terms of the long-term prospects. And boo to that hat. Boo to that hat. Right, I know he did.
Just being down in the situation you guys are in for the next few weeks, I know you've done the week-long trips and things like that before. What are some of the keys, in your opinion, to kind of getting through that, particularly since you don't have that ability to kind of bond and spend time together?
Well, I mean, these are pros. I mean, we've kind of been through this the whole time. And I mean, you can't sit there and bond and play cards and shoot the stuff, but you can play video games, and that's what's cool about technology. We can sit there on mics and play video games and still social distance and have a good time and still have some version of brotherhood. And Kyle and them are doing a great job with the internet. Cray's working on it now, increasing the bandwidth. So that's another way for us to bond. You can't in situations like this. I mean, we're getting to do what we love. Regardless of the circumstances, there are people out there losing jobs, losing houses, having huge issues, and we just feel sorry for the county of Santa Clara that we can't do more. When you get kicked out, there are so many guys that are active in the community, and the holidays are coming up, and we can't go back and give away gifts and be able to help the people in need. That's the unfortunate part of this situation. But, in terms of what we got to do, it's very minimal.
You got to blitz a couple times, and even looks like you got a couple snaps at safety. Just curious how that went for you, what your thoughts were when you were presented with that plan during the week.
I don't know what you're talking about. I deny everything, and I only need to make counter accusations. I have no idea what you mean lining up at safety or blitzing or things. Come on, not me, not the guy who only lines up at left corner. No, it was fun though. It was a good time. It was a little bit of a change up, showing them a different look, and we were able to get off the field and create some chaos. Make a few adjustments that people have the game plan for. So it was fun. It's fun after 10 years of playing in the same spot. You get to mix things up.
Hey, Richard, last year I think you only got 4 snaps with both you and Jason Verrett out there at cornerback before he got hurt. Finally got a full game in with him. How exciting was it for you to watch that film with both of you at the opposite cornerback spots? And what can that potentially unlock to the defense if you guys are able to get a string of games with 2 top-level corners in there together?
It was really fun, and it was a great time. And I mean, honestly, I'm just trying to put it on tape. JV has been having a fantastic season, and I just got to live up to the standard. E-Man was playing well before he went out, and I'm just going out there. I think us playing at the level, just energizes the defense. You got guys playing hard on the edge, guys playing hard everywhere. Kerry Hyder putting pressure on the quarterback. You got to give everybody credit. Ken Law starting to find himself. All-Pro Fred, continuing the great season that he's been having. Jimmy Ward, one of the best safeties in the league. So I think it's all coming together well. I think we're all tied in on the string, and we have great chemistry, and it's a great feel out there right now.
With Shaquille Tart's injury, you guys aren't terribly deep at safety. If something were to happen there, would you feel comfortable? Could you move to safety, and play 3 quarters at one of those 2 spots if the demand were there?
I think I could. I don't think that it will ever come to that. You know, we got better depth than people perceive. You know, I think, and it's getting even better. You know, with the guys they just brought in, with Chris Edwards, he's had a fantastic day, and I think that every time situations like that come up, it gives the team to reveal and to show how much depth we have and how great the players are. It gives guys an opportunity to show their talent, and so. I don't think it'll happen this year, honestly. You know, I'm pretty comfortable at the corner spot, and I think we got enough people back there. If it had to come to it, I could do it.
Richard, Robert Saleh just said that part of what makes your defense so good is guys like you, Jimmy Ward, Fred Warner, just studying film like lunatics, basically. How did you, when you were out and dealing with your injury and couldn't really be in the locker room around guys, how did you sort of stay involved? Brandon Aiyuk talked about how you helped him on the field once he got back in terms of understanding how corners are going to cover him. How did you stay involved when you were dealing with your injury?
You just try your best to have conversations with guys and to try to honestly try to stay out the way. You know, you kind of let guys come up to you as much as you can because those guys are grinding every day, and you really don't want to get in the way of their grind and their routine. So you kind of just leave it up to guys to be available. And if guys want to have a conversation, you do your best to give your input and give your insight. But at the end of the day, I was out and they were playing, so I wanted to help in any way I can. But at the same time, kind of stay out of the way and really, be as great of a teammate as I could.
Couple more guys.
Hey, Richard. Robert Saleh just compared Josh Allen to a young Cam Newton. What would your scouting report be on the Bills quarterback?
A little different because they ran Cam more and they kind of created the offense around him. I think Josh is making the adjustment this year and really standing in the pocket and really letting the ball go. His passing numbers are really extraordinary right now. And he's using, every receiver. There's nobody he's just, beating in on. Obviously Stephon got there and he's been featured, but John Brown has been featured. Beasley has been featured. It's been everybody. He's really spreading the ball around evenly. He's getting it to the backs. He's running it when he has to. But I think he's doing a great job because he felt like, people were kind of boxing him in to being a running quarterback, and he really wanted to show his arm talent.
Richard, could you give us a little bit more on Stephon Diggs and what kind of a receiver he is as opposed to some other guys that the 49ers have faced this season?
Well, Stephon is really dynamic. He's underrated, but his talent has continued to shine week in and week out. Just about every game, he's made a huge impact play for that team to help them win the ball game, or help them. Some highlight play of making a guy miss or misdirection. His routes are really crisp. He's really dynamic. He does a great job selling things, and he deserves the credit he's getting. That's why they paid him the big bucks.
Last one.
Robert Saleh said Jimmy Ward is one of the best cover guys in the league. What is it? How would you explain his skill set that makes him such a good cover guy?
It's hard because being a great cover guy isn't it's not something you can really explain. It's like how could you teach a guy to be a great cover guy? You can't. There are certain things you can tell him. Hey, play to your leverage, do this, get your hands on. But Jimmy has great natural instincts, and not just to cover tight ends, not just to cover guys who are slower or bigger, et cetera. He can cover anybody. He can cover the fastest, quickest guy. He can cover the big guy. He can cover the tight end. He can cover a back. And that's what makes him so good, is because he's so versatile. There's nothing he can't do. If they had freaking 5 clones of Jimmy Ward, then, they'd be a hard defense to throw on. They'd probably play man coverage every play, and it'd be very difficult. He's that kind of player. He can play any position, and that's what makes him so valuable to this defense. It wouldn't work without his versatility. Some of the things we were able to do, we wouldn't be able to.
Thanks, Sherman.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Rook.
It's all good, man. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, we got Brandon Aiyuk here for you.
Brandon, how have you adjusted so far to your new setup?
I think I've adjusted real well. I love it. I think I like it a lot. Just because I have everything right here with me. I'm right upstairs, and when I come downstairs, I have everything that I need. I'm able to get my treatment, able to get body maintenance in. It's all in one area. So kind of like when we took the trip to New York and we stayed in West Virginia for a week. Pretty similar to that, but I like the setup.
Maybe can you describe what that 48 hours was like after you guys got back from LA and you were kind of that kind of quick turnaround to go to Arizona, just for you in terms of packing and trying to get your kind of your life together before you got on the road again?
Well, I had 2 weeks to get back to. I didn't travel to LA, so I had 2 weeks to prepare. So I've been ready. I've been ready. A little curveball that was thrown our way, but nothing different. We just treat it as a business trip, treat it as an away trip, a little bit longer away trip.
Brandon, I think you played one game in the last 30, 35 days or something like that. How does your body feel at this point? Do you feel fresh? I mean, do you have fresh legs? How would you characterize yourself right now?
Yeah, I would characterize it just like that. I feel fresh. Got some time off to take care of my body, take care of some other things as well. So I definitely feel fresh mentally and physically. So I'm excited just to be able to be back out there this week with the guys and play another football game.
Brandon, when we talked to you a couple weeks ago when you came off the COVID list for the first time, you described how there was anxiety because you didn't know what to expect, just being a close contact. What was this time like? Did you experience symptoms, and just what was the anxiety like this time around?
This time was a little bit different. Having a true positive test. The first thing that you think about is just your family and who you've been around, not being able to see them. And then secondly, not being able to come and do what you love every day and be around the new people, your new family, which is my teammates. So that was probably the hardest thing, just not being able to be around my family at home and away from home here with this team. But that was 2 weeks ago. We're back. We're back playing and focused this week on Buffalo.
Brennan, how do you sort of look at this season? This is obviously like not a typical rookie year, dealing with the global pandemic, dealing with, being put on the list twice. How do you sort of look at this season right now, and did it match up at all with your expectations?
Definitely hasn't matched up with my expectations for this year. But obviously, everybody knows this year is a lot different than years in the past. So, pretty much this whole year, we just understand that it's not a normal year. This year is a lot different. So, we just have to just continue to just roll with what we're given. The circumstances haven't been the way that we thought or may have wanted them to be, but that's just the way it is. So, we just have to continue to roll with everything that goes on and just continue to try to stay focused with everything that's going on the outside and just control what we can. I know everything that's outside of football isn't in any of our control, so we just have to continue to just when we're playing football, just try to just focus on football, and that's kind of our getaway from everything that's going on outside. And the one thing constant is football. So we're lucky to have that, and just happy to be back out here playing football again.
What was your reaction to Deebo Samuel's game on Sunday, specifically the plays where he's breaking all sorts of tackles, and also how much are you looking forward to the possibility to maybe get in a rhythm just as a receiving core with the opportunity of you guys to have a prolonged stint on the field together as the season winds down?
Well, first it was definitely exciting to watch Deebo get back out there and have a great game. It's always exciting to watch him and what he does on the field. And he didn't miss a beat getting back in there. So it was definitely fun to watch him and happy for him to have the game that he did, along with getting a win. So I'm just excited to get back out there with him. The last time we were out on the field together, we put some good things on tape. This whole receiving crew, I feel like we're coming along. We're getting back. We're getting our guys back, and we're trying to establish that rhythm and go on this run that we're talking about.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I'll finish that later.
Hey guys, we got Jimmy Ward here for you.
What's good? Both of you mics work? Oh, that's cool. I kind of like this mic. I can move this over a little bit. It's cool.
You mentioned many times before that the next step in your game was to force takeaways. Well, how gratifying was it to force a couple on Sunday, and how do you let that remain a focus while still not trying to do too much, I guess is the question.
I guess it was a big deal. I don't really think too much of it. Last year during the run we made, I just remember us being in the playoffs, and after that first game, I didn't get any turnovers. First playoff game, I was excited, and then Emmanuel Sanders came up to me, and he was like, do that shit next game. Excuse my language, but that's exactly the words he said. So, and then, I started thinking, I'm sitting on the sideline, I was just thinking about it. I was like, dang. And basically what he was meaning is stay consistent. And them words just stuck in my head, and stuck in my head this year. So, like, we can talk about the turnovers, but, man, who cares now, man? That was last week. I got to do it again.
Jimmy, what are your impressions of your new setup down there, and what are some of the things that are most important for you to have just to kind of help you pass the time when you're not doing football for that long?
Great food. I gotta feed my appetite. But other than that, I don't know. I just feel like it feels the same to me, like Santa Clara. Like, I don't do much when I'm in Santa Clara. I kind of chill. It's all football. Come home, probably read some, play a video game or two. But I just watch a lot of film, so I can't really tell the difference right now. I'm a homebody.
Hey, Jimmy, Kyle was telling us that when he got to Arizona, he pulled about 20 guys aside, asked them to check on their teammates and make sure everybody's in a good space mentally. Were you one of those 20 guys? And then the other question is, just as the longest tenured 49er, how do you try to be a leader and check in on your teammates?
Yeah, I was one of those guys. Just like it, my teammates, a few of my teammates came up to me and just asked me questions like what we can and cannot do, like do you feel like this smart or not, and I just give them my honest answer, and I just feel like that's me being there for them. But other than that, that's really it. Like, I feel like guys, we're all grown, and we the rules, and you know what you should do. If you thinking is wrong, then most likely it's wrong. So. It's no trick question.
Hey, Jimmy, as you know, you've been banged around a little during your career, injured this, injured that. In particular, I don't know, last couple of weeks, this past week, whether it's Pro Football Focus, I'm sure you care about that. But Richard Sherman saying how underrated you are. Robert Saleh just gave a 15-minute answer about how great you are. I don't know, is this meaningful to you? That mostly all this is now positive, and you're not hearing any of the negative stuff you dealt with in the past?
Oh, it's still negative stuff out there. It's still negative. It'll never be all positive. And I'm just saying that's cool for my teammates. My teammates, they thought highly of me last year and a lot of years. It's just I had to put it together, and just I finally got some balls out, man. Some turnovers. That was a question mark. Can he get the ball? And I still didn't even get any interceptions. So I don't even see what the big deal about. To me, I feel like it's still a lack of respect, and that's cool because that's better for me. It gives me that fire. It makes me go out there and give it my all. Like, even though I got paid, and that's cool and all that, but that's not all I want. I want everything, and that's how I play too. Like, if you can't tell I'm play, like I play like how I talk how I play. It's just, it all starts in practice, and I don't know. It's just even just thinking about football right now. I'm starting to feel that fire inside of me. But other than that, let's get to the next question because I'm just feeling like game day right now.
Switch it up a little bit. What's your scouting report of Richard Sherman, the safety?
Oh, taking my job, but other than that, no, it's cool, man. Sherm can do it all, and he can cover, he can play safety, he can tackle. No, I got nothing but love for that guy. You know, he talks highly of me. You know, we talk, we're boys. So hey, keep doing your thing.
Hey Jimmy, you've been getting a ton of praise for your play on Sunday, and rightfully so. But now you turn around and play two quality receivers again in Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley. When you watch those two receivers, what makes them different from the duo of Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, and how do you get interceptions against them?
Play the man. Play the ball second. Because both of them quick and both of them got some great routes. Like, if the quarterback, he's not throwing the ball to the defensive players. He's throwing it to the wide receivers. So, my main plan going into that game is just to cover. Well, when I'm in man coverage, to cover. If I'm in zone, then, I can read the quarterback. But other than that, like, plays gonna come to me. And, like, I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not somebody who's gonna force plays. Like, it just has to happen. And on the strips and stuff, the second one I went for the ball. The first one was clearly an accident. It's just how I tackle. It's like I kind of I'm like more like a low man win and rap tackler. So, and I end up for some reason my form, I always touch the ball when I'm rapping tackling, and when I'm hitting, I kind of my shoulder or my helmet always kind of hits the ball. And I just finally got him out. But going back to your question, I got to cover first and look for the ball second.
Thanks, Jimmy.
That's it? All right, thank you.
You did get fired.